All right, let's talk about something we all do. Have you ever noticed this kind of peculiar pattern in how you remember things? A way of thinking that quietly shapes, well, pretty much everything: your work, your relationships, your day to day. Today, we're going to break down this universal thinking trap that puts you right at the center of your own universe.
Okay, think about it. That last big project you worked on, or hey, even a simple conversation you had yesterday. When you play it back in your head, what stands out? Your actions, right? Your words, your contributions, they're all in like crystal clear high definition, aren't they?
And all the effort you put in, the late nights, the specific ideas you came up with, it all just feels so significant, so real. It feels like the main story. So, because of all that, it just feels natural that your viewpoint is the default one, the right one. And everyone else, well, they can sometimes feel like they're just supporting characters in a story that's all about you. Turns out, this feeling, it actually has a name.
So, what do we call this main character energy that we all have? Well, there's a name for it: egocentric bias. It's a really well-documented cognitive shortcut, and it's so important to get this straight right away. This is not a character flaw. It's not about being selfish. It's just a feature of how our brains are wired. So here's the bottom line. We just naturally, automatically rely more on our own perspective. I mean, it makes sense, right? You have a front row seat to your own thoughts, your intentions, your efforts. So of course your brain is going to give all that information top billing. Whatever you experience directly just feels like the whole truth. And look, this isn't just some abstract psych concept from a textbook. Egocentric bias pops up all the time in situations you'll definitely recognize. So let's look at a few places where it shows up every day. Okay, first up, the classic group project. Oh man, this is like the perfect petri dish for this bias, right? When the project goes well, I bet you can list every single thing you did, down to the last detail. But your teammates' work, it's fuzzier, isn't it? It feels a little smaller. And it's not because it was less important, it's just that it was less visible to you. And it's a huge deal in disagreements, too. Think about any argument. You can probably remember your own brilliant points perfectly, word for word, can't you? But what about the other person's points? Yeah, those are probably a little hazy. Our memory just favors ourselves, and that can make finding common ground, well, pretty tough. This whole thing works for both the good times and the bad times. When a project is a huge success, we tend to feel, just a little more responsible for it. But when things go south, whoa, suddenly that responsibility gets shared around pretty generously, doesn't it? It's like credit pulls inward, but blame pushes out. So why does our brain do this? Is it just arrogance? Nope, not at all. It really just comes down to one thing: efficiency. It's a simple, elegant cognitive shortcut. Just think of your brain as a super efficient machine, almost like it's lazy in a smart way. Its main job is to process info fast, to keep you moving. And what's the easiest, highest quality data it can get its hands on? Well, it's your own thoughts, your feelings, your actions. That stuff is streaming 24/7. Now, to figure out someone else's perspective, that's work. The brain has to guess, it has to infer, it has to build a whole model from scratch. So what does it do? It takes the path of least resistance. It defaults to the data that's already there, your data, and just assumes that's the most important step. Okay, so this bias is totally normal, but that doesn't mean it's harmless. Not by a long shot. When our perspective gets too narrow, it can cause some really big problems, especially when we have to, work and live with other people. I mean, this shortcut has real-world consequences. Think about it. When everyone in a room secretly thinks they did 70% of the work, what happens? You get unfair credit, which leads to resentment, and that just totally kills teamwork. Little disagreements blow up into huge fights because nobody can actually hear what the other person is saying. It just chips away at our empathy, makes it harder to connect, and messes up accountability. The bottom line is really simple. When we're all just shining a spotlight on ourselves, the whole stage goes dark. But here's the good news. Just listening to this, just understanding that this bias exists, you're honestly already halfway there. And there are some really concrete, practical things you can do to consciously widen that spotlight and start seeing the bigger picture. So what can you actually do? Here are 4 really powerful steps. Number 1, actively list what other people contributed. Like, make it a mission to see their invisible work. Make it visible, at least to yourself. Number 2, get an outside opinion. A neutral person doesn't have your built-in bias, and that's their superpower. They can see the whole picture.
Number 3 is so simple. Just pause. Before you jump to assign credit or blame, just take a second. Remind yourself that your memory has a built-in bias for its star player, you. And finally, number 4, practice shifting your perspective. Literally ask yourself, okay, what's the story they're telling themselves right now? How did this look from where they're sitting?
When you get right down to it, it all comes back to this one really powerful question you have to ask yourself. It's a challenge, really, to rethink your place in the story.
Because here's the fundamental truth of it all. Yes, you are absolutely the main character in your own story. That's a given. But every important thing, every success, every meaningful relationship, those are shared stories. And getting that, truly getting it, doesn't make your roles smaller. It makes the whole story bigger and richer. Learning to widen our focus, it's not just about being humble. It's the secret sauce. It's the foundation for real collaboration, real connection, and real understanding.